What is going on, my fellow tech lovers of YouTube? Today's a little different video. It's not going to be about a tech product or anything in that category actually. It's going to be about game development. I think I've hinted in a few of my other videos, I'm kind of an indie game designer. I'm trying to make it a thing, but you know, it takes a while to turn it into a career. But that's my dream eventually. I want to talk today about the years I've felt and experienced not succeeding in game design, and why that shouldn't be a problem, and why it's actually a good thing. Hope you guys enjoy this quick little talk, and I will see you in the next one.
Alright, so if you're an aspiring game developer, you've probably heard it many times by now that you should start your first project small. Well, I completely went against this, like most people do, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. It took me 3 full years of not finishing a project to finally make something as small as the game you're seeing now. Although that might sound like 3 years of wasted time, I think there's a few things that came out of it, and I'm going to talk about those now. The first and most important thing I would say is experience. With this last game I've been working on, I've finally been at the point where I can see a little bit of reference and start making things 100% on my own. Whether it be complex code or something extremely simple, I can just do it alone now, which feels excellent compared to when you start making games and you have to use tutorials for everything. And this really did take a long time. It's not something that's going to come to you instantly. It's an idea that kind of takes a while to harness, and once you really start to master it, you'll feel it a lot more than you would ever think you did. So although I never finished a project completely, I don't think those 3 years were wasted. I think it was just more of a learning experience while I was still doing school. And this brings me to my second point, which is failure. Failure is one of the most important things you can have as a new game developer. Learning to fail before you succeed is always going to happen. After saying that, I realize how grim that kind of sounds, but it's the truth. You're gonna have to know what goes wrong before you can learn what to do right. This is why you hear people recommending small projects to start, and why I would definitely now recommend it as well, but I don't think setting your dreams high and not reaching those isn't a good thing either. Now, the third and final point I'm going to talk about is one that's a little bit different, I guess. This is gonna be learning to set your sights on one thing you really want to focus at. For me, that's more scripting and code, since that's more of what I enjoy than the art side, but without starting on a bigger project, I wouldn't have learned that I hate to work on art. This doesn't mean that I won't work on my art and try to get better at that side, but it just means I know where my strengths are, where if I work for a large game company, I would know exactly what I could tell them I can do and what I can't do. So now let's talk about switching from those large, impossible projects to this small mobile game you've seen playing in the background this time. This game is called Cave Glider, and it's just a simple endless flyer that only has one control, and that's to tap the screen. Something this simple seems kind of boring at first, but as you work on a project like this, you realize it's more about the entire feel of the game rather than making it a complex project. This game only took me about 2.5 weeks to finish, but that was putting a lot of hours into it, easily over 100. I was just feeling like working on this a lot since it was fun. But working on something like this is very satisfying after trying those extremely difficult projects. Being able to get a finished product that I can publish on an app store is fantastic. I'm not trying to make the next AAA Steam game by myself and failing horribly, realizing you need a team to do that. It's just making something you can be proud of as an end result. This is why I think it's good to fail first, then do this, because you get those feelings of failure into this great satisfaction of success. And obviously I know this isn't the greatest game or anything, but seriously, just finishing something after working for years on projects that go to nothing, it feels amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you don't think your time is wasted on working on a project that you may have scrapped. Scrapping projects is never a bad thing. It just means you learned a little more and you moved on to something that you're wanting to work on now. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.